Started. Okay, well, hi everybody. My name is Kat, and I'm an Enterprise Customer Success Manager with Jotform. Welcome to the second part of our tiered tables series. Today, we're going to get into some more advanced territory within our Jotform tables. So if you didn't have a chance to join Lauren's fabulous session last week, I really recommend heading over to our YouTube channel since we'll be building on some of the concepts that Lauren went over. We're going to be covering a lot in this video as per usual, so it is going to be recorded, and I'll make sure that we get to some questions towards the end of our presentation as per usual. Please note that the environment we're working in today is not HIPAA enabled and that permissions and views will likely look very different in a HIPAA environment. So if you have any questions about HIPAA requirements, permissions, and more, please reach out to our team to schedule some time to see more. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to head into our demo environment. You can see that I've already got some stuff pulled up for us today. So Lauren started off showing us how we can upload, link, and share our data within our tables environment to allow for greater team collaboration. And so I'd like to expand on that today as we move into advanced territory. So as you can see here, I've logged into our demo environment and I've already created a team for today. I'm just going to click into our team workspace. And we're going to be working within our collaborative dashboard here. So again, I already have that linked up here. Let's click into our first tab. So as I'm sure that many of you are aware, Jotform Enterprise is filled with possibilities, especially when it comes to optimizing, analyzing, and collaborating on your data. And of course, with the release of Jotform Teams, we've been seeing more and more of our customers utilize tables for greater collaboration and visibility for all team members. So as such, as we saw, we're going to be working primarily within this table within our team today. Now, we know that it's owned by a team because we can see this little logo here. If you're not familiar with Teams yet, please check out our past Lunch and Learns. We chat a lot more about the ins and outs of Jotform Teams, including how to create and manage teams, team members, and the different assets created and held within that team workspace. Now, I've built from scratch this just as a table. So if I was going to go into my team workspace and want to build this, I would just click Create and Table here. All right. Now, you've noticed that I have titled this table Collaborative Dashboard, and this is essentially what we're going to be using it for today. Please keep in mind that this is only an example of what you can do with Jotform tables. There are so many more possibilities that we just simply don't have time to dive into today, but please stay tuned to our Lunch and Learn series in the future. We've got some more great content coming your way. Now, this table is taking inspiration from several use cases that we've seen within our enterprise environments, namely creating a central dashboard where multiple team members, server users, or even external invitees can manage tasks, use submission data, and, well, collaborate across multiple different data sets. Sounds pretty cool. Well, let's just see it in action. So for this dashboard here, for this tab, you'll see we've got a lot going on. This particular tab here is a tab that has been inspired by several of our enterprise customers. As I mentioned before, there are so many ways to utilize Jotform tables, but one of the advanced ways that we've seen our customers do it is task tracking, especially in a team. This sets us up to not only have our submission data from forms that's within our team in the same place within these different tabs here, but also have a manually input table to track tasks, link to submissions, send emails, and more. And we're going to go through this a little bit. This table here allows your entire team or whomever you want to see it full visibility into your table. And if you choose, they can interact within that table. So let's say we have our task description here. We have the priority of the task, the company that we're doing the task for, the assignee, and I want to spend a little bit more time on the assignee. Now you'll probably remember that Lauren had touched on this quickly, but let's just dive a little bit more into that. So again, just to refresh, to add this column here, we would just click on the columns dropdown, click Add New Column. And then we can also add a new column if we want to. Oops, sorry, it's in basic here. I'm getting ahead of myself with assignee here. If we want, we can also scroll to the end of the table, click add, and then that'll just bring that up for us there. Assignee is right here. From here, we'll select the assignee field. Of course, I've already selected it, but I do want to show you what this looks like. And then you can also see that we have the option to notify that assignee via email, which we highly recommend putting on, and then select multiple assignees. So this means that you can have multiple people assigned to one entry. So I'm just going to X out of that since we already have an assignee column. All right. So from here, when we select the assignee field, this is automatically going to have each team member of our team selectable, but also the entire team as well. Now you can see we also have invite here. So for example, for these specific tasks, I'm the assignee. So I received all these different emails letting me know that I had something assigned to me within this table. For these other tasks, we can see that we have the entire tables collaboration team name. This is going to send out an email to all team members once assigned. And please keep in mind that anybody selected within the assignee column will need to be a licensed user on your server. As an alternative, for those who want to say bring in external assignees, but not with a full license, you can set them up as options in a multiple choice column. So you would just do multiple selection and add their names here. And then you could have it, they can select multiple people from there if you'd like. All right, but let's say that we don't want to see all tasks assigned to all people. For the purposes of this example, let's imagine ourselves in a project manager role. We want to keep up to date with what everyone is doing, but we want to be able to organize that view so we can see exactly what we want at the click of a button. This is where filtering comes in. So let's say that we want to see all of Kat's assigned tasks here. We'd simply go in and filter by the assignee field, and it includes Kat. You can see that this is already populated with all of our different team members. If we had more, it would be there. Once I apply the filter, we can go in and we'll see everything that has Kat as the assignee. Now, let's say that Stark Industries is really breathing down our neck and we need to quickly change due dates or update the task, etc. We could filter by Kat as the assignee, and if we wanted to, add onto the filter where company includes Stark, apply filter there, and then we can go in and see all of the Stark Industries that are assigned to Kat, or of course, we can always remove Kat from that filter if we just want to see what Stark is there. Of course, this is just an example. You can apply the filter to anything if you'd like, and we can create a whole new tab for Kat's Stark tasks that will then be shared and visible to the table. So if I create a new tab, though, one thing I do want to mention is here. So let's just say Kat Stark is breathing down our neck or something like that. We can just call it Kat Stark for now. But once we create the tab, it'll create it at the back, and we can always go ahead and move that tab wherever we want to within the table. Now, we've seen this kind of filtering and logic applied across several customers. The most common use case we see with this is either filtering by assignee, of course, company like we've done, or, and this one is the typical filter of choice. If we go back to this one, let's just remove that filter since it's captured in this tab. That is priority. Now, if we filter by different priorities, then we're able to simply click into each tab to see where we're at with critical, high, medium, and so on in regards to the task priority. And then like we did with Kat's task there, we can drag and drop these in the order that we want. So I've already gone ahead and filtered by critical tasks. You'll see that this is any priority that is critical. High priority is here. And then we could do the exact same within our tasks if we wanted to create those new tabs. So we just say filter, priority, includes, and it has all of our options already here, apply filter, and we would just go ahead and create a new tab. Let's say medium priority. And then because we are well organized and very particular project managers, we're going to have them in this order here. Now, within these tabs, regardless of the field that's selected, you can add another filter, as we saw with, say, the due date is before October, et cetera, et cetera. Even if we want to, let's remove this filter. Within here, we can go and we can say the due date is greater than or equal to, less than or equals to this. So we could say it's less than or equals to October, greater than or equals to October, whatever we want to do. This can help not only us very organized and competent project managers, but also our employees or those who are interacting with the table. One thing that we hear from our customers who utilize collaborative dashboards and tables like this is that it gives their employees a central place to access and an easy way to check out their tasks and even communicate. You could use the notes column and edit it and add any time. What we have seen in the past with some of our collaborative dashboards is what some people will do is they'll assign, say, an initial. For me, it would be K. They can put down the date. So for me, it would be the 20th of September. I'm Canadian, so I put the date first there. But for you Americans, I guess we would have to do this, wouldn't we? But you can go in there, put the date however you can see it within your company, and then you can add the update here. I'm just going to put update, update, update. But what you can also do, you can also comment on any of these different rows, any of the different columns, and that captures the date, time, and commenter, and that can be handy for your records too. So you can see that I had commented on this yesterday at 11:18. I promised it wasn't that late PM there, and same thing here. Anything that has a comment on it will have this little button here. And then we can go ahead and we can reply. You can see that I've mentioned our tables collaboration. So this is mentioning the whole team. But if I wanted to go in and I wanted to mention somebody within the team, I could do that here. To comment on anything, I would simply just click on, let's say, here, and we're going to add a comment, and I would go ahead and do that there. Now, another column that we'll see here, if we just do a quick scroll, is the send email column. So this column is included in a group of similar column types. If we go to add a new column, it's within the buttons type here. You can see that we have the option to send PDFs, send files, send form, and more in the buttons category. But I want to highlight send email on this one because if I click back into our table here, we'll see that we have a task down here where we need to send a monthly invoice or a monthly report, or let's say we need to request more attention to something. So send email makes it super easy to just go ahead and send what we want with the emails already pre-built and pre-selected on a per send email column basis. So if we go into here and we edit the column preferences, you'll see that I have these two emails. One of them is an invoice and the other is titled for attention. Now, if I only wanted to send an invoice to Stark, I could enable that in this column, and I could add another column, another send email column, send email. And let's say that we're going to go send attention email. And then we would go ahead and select this one email. So we could enable that in another column. See, send attention email here. And then I could add another column if I wanted to send another email to one person. So this email, send email column also records when the email was sent, and it can be resent at any time. So again, let's say we're like, okay, we need to send this monthly invoice to company A, or we need to ask for more attention on their About Us page or something like that. Then we would go in, we would just click send email, sending, and then it shows you when it was sent, and it can be resent at any time. Now, there are a multitude of other columns that we can add, but I do want to particularly talk about our connection columns. So you'll see that I already have a connected column to my creative design request form here, but you'll also notice when I have set a new column, we have a couple of different ways that we can connect. So we can set up a lookup or rollup field here. And then we do have these connection fields here for the connect from a form or connect to a table. Now, you'll also notice that I have a new tab within the table. So having both views can be really helpful quick, intuitive way to compare, connect, contrast submission data within the rest of the fields of your tables. But there is a distinction between a connection column, whether we want to use that lookup or rollup functionality. But when we're connecting a column to another form or table this way, we need to select a particular field from that connected form. Whereas if we add a new tab, oops, sorry. Oh, I'm just clicking around here. Whereas when we add a new tab and we connect it to another form or table, we'll be able to see that submission data in full, or within the columns that we choose to show or add to that tab. You can see that I've got a couple of different forms here, and we can see all of the different data within that form has received. However, within this one here, we can just see the type of artwork that has been requested. This is, of course, where reports and using filters can really come in when you're using your collaborative dashboard. Keep in mind that each visual report you add in tables can only connect to one data set, table or form, but you can add these tabs to a central collaborative dashboard for easy comparison. So as I mentioned before in tables, we can use the same filtration settings within our reports tab by, let's say, for example, Assignee, if we want to do that. We can then share these filtered reports. I'll just apply that filter with external eyes, our supervisors, managers, etc., that may not need access to the table itself. So as project manager or admin or whatever role that you're in, you have a way to keep on top of your team's tasks, assignments, but you can also report on their progress and hard work with customized visual reports from multiple data sets here. So you can see that we have the assignee, and if I just remove this filter, then we'll be able to see all of the different responses and everything that has been assigned there. We also can take a look at the different tasks, the due date, the task description, and of course, if you haven't seen our Lunch and Learn on reports, we can totally customize the way this looks. I have just chosen to have a star for September here today. You can go ahead, and when you publish this, again, you can select the different kind of settings. So if you're like, I don't want the CEO or the supervisor or whomever that I am sharing this report to be able to see the entire table, I just want them to see this report, you can do that from here. But let's take a look at our other tabs now. Lauren did touch on these in our last presentation, so I won't go too far into detail here, but I want to highlight how you can use these views in an advanced way. So let's just continue with our example use case as project managers. Now, we have 4 companies. We have, if we go back in here, Bob's Burger, we have Bravo, Stark, and Company A that have access to 2 different forms owned by our team. Our new user request form and our creative design request form. For the new user request form, let's say that we simply just need to see the submission information, and then we can either manually add a task to our task tab, or we can add an assignee column. Assignee. Let's just do that. Same kind of thing. And we can assign that to somebody within the submission row. So let's say that Kat is going to have to handle this new user request here. Now, for our creative design request form, we need to be able to visualize the data in a couple of different ways. First, of course, we have our table view here that we see. And then we also need to see just the uploads, and we need to see a card view that our designers will access that has just the specs from the request for their own information. You'll see that I have this fields drop down here, and I only have very specific fields that just have the specs for the artwork selected within the cards here. And with both of these views, we can always edit the fields and the content that show up if we'd like. And of course, we can manually add new information here. We can go in and we can edit the information just like we can within our tables view as well. So let's just head back there. Oh. View table. All right. Perfect. So I'm just going to click back into the creative design requests here. Now, the reason that I'm bringing this up, that we can manually add things in and just showing you all the different views here, is because we do find that some of our customers will manually add information into the dashboard. It is informed by these connected forms, but also, let's say if somebody emails in a custom request, we'll be able to add it to our dashboard, and we can have visibility into their request, corresponding uploads, tasks, and more if that request has come in from somewhere other than the forms that you have set up. Having these files and specs in a centralized place also can help to grant transparency and visibility across your entire team, say, like as it pertains to a request like our example use case here. This transparency and visibility can be helpful. So let's say a customer calls in a panic and says they can't remember if they put full portrait or half portrait on their request here, and they desperately need to make sure that it's a full portrait. So we could go into cards, we can go into the submission data here, and our customer service team member can check the table and confirm the artwork size. So let's say that it was Tony here called in being like, I think I got half portrait, but I really need full portrait. We can just go in ahead and say, nope, you're good to go. We've got full portrait. Or if we want, we can go in and we can change that there. Your customer service team can make changes if they want using comments or send email field. If you've set it up to go to a specific designer, the customer service rep can reach out to that designer for an update, or even just to let the designer know that the request has been updated as well. These processes, of course, will be at the discretion of your company and your own internal policies, but these kind of use cases are possible utilizing the multitude of different columns that we have. We have a lot of customers who just have usually 1 or 2 collaborative dashboards open, and they are managing a project from there. Okay. So we've got our well-oiled, centralized, team-accessible, collaborative dashboard set up and thriving. And now we have some higher-ups that just want to take a look. A quick side note here, please remember that sharing permissions are quite different in a HIPAA environment. So this information pertains to non-HIPAA server environments. In a HIPAA environment, briefly, each person viewing and or editing any data is required to be a licensed user on your server. But as I said, you can always reach out and grab some more information from us, from our team. But let's just say that these higher-ups, they don't want to edit anything, but they just want to be able to check in every now and then. There are a couple different ways that we can do this. We could set up the external person as a member of our Jotform team. So if we go back to our team workspace here and set their permissions from there, if we invite them, as either a data viewer or a data collaborator. Again, I'm not going to go too much into detail in this here, but I'll refer you to our past Lunch and Learn on Teams for more detail. Or we can share directly from the table again. Now, Lauren did touch on this in our last presentation, but let's chat about this when it comes to this advanced collaborative dashboard type use case. One thing that our customers have noted is that depending on the identity of the person or people you want to share access to the table with, setting the table to private or company access only is typically the best way to share, especially if, say, you have conversations going on between designers and tech, admin and support, engineering and management, et cetera, that aren't necessarily going to be notes that you'll want to make public. So keep in mind that if you set your table as public, then anyone can access each tab, even if they're just in read-only mode. Paying special attention to these permissions is super important for a collaborative dashboard to really ensure that you're not giving that peek behind the scenes that you didn't mean to, especially to external viewers. Another thing to note in the advanced table with sharing is that you'll need to decide what limitations that you want to have within the data itself. So for example, let's say my CEO has reached out to me, the project manager, looking to be more involved with the project that this dashboard is covering. They want to be able to view the data, but also want to be able to collaborate on it, comment, download the data, and print it if they need to. So this is a great use case for setting them up as a collaborator when sharing as a private table or company table here. so that they have visibility and interaction within our dashboard, but they don't require a user license. They will need to log into your server as a guest though, so the system can confirm their email and identity. But keep in mind that when you share the table, your invitees will have access to all tabs. So we can go show print button, show download button, and then the CEO will just have to have that domain, or will have to be the one that we invited to the table. Now, a hot tip from one of our customers on this: if you're sharing a collaborative dashboard with someone on the board of directors or something like that, ensure that they have an email address with the organization email domain before sending us company access, or they won't be able to get in. All right, so there are a multitude of ways to utilize Jotform tables in an advanced setting, but can you believe that this use case was actually really quite a simple overview? In building a collaborative dashboard, there are many things to consider internally as a company, as a team, and much more to add and explore within Jotform Enterprise. The use cases that inspired today's dashboard build have been more complicated, more simplistic, and even more collaborative. And we've seen our customers utilize these with success and ease. And I'm sure we have questions. I see that we do have some that are coming in, and I can certainly answer them as they pertain to our presentation today. However, if you have more general questions or maybe want to get on the line with someone to walk through your own use case, please do reach out to our team. I will have that information up shortly. Okay, let's take a look at questions. Okay. Oh, awesome. Is it possible yet to choose which form fields display as filters? Filtering a table is not very user-friendly as is, but could be a lot better if unneeded table filters could be hidden. Really, very little of the form fields would be used as filters. Okay, so you've already inputted as a feature request. That's awesome. It's not possible yet, but it's a great feature request. I can certainly check in on this, just so that you don't have to. I think you're referring to when you click the filters and the filter choices, not having every single form field. You can just go in and decide which form fields that you want to be filtered by. Yeah. If I want to send a business owner table results pre-filtered to just the data he cares about, is that possible? Yes, but it's a workaround. So just keep in mind that when you're sharing the table, you're going to be sharing that entire table, all of that information within that table. However, the workaround that I have in mind would either be like a report, so you could share a pre-filtered report. You could also download that filtered data and then re-upload it to another table that it just has that information that he cares about. There's a couple of different workarounds I have in mind. So I'm thinking maybe if you want to reach out to our team, I will keep an eye out for that myself, and maybe we can hop on the line and we can discuss what that use case or workaround might look like for your specific use case. For a public table, no login. Can a viewer download, print, PDF, whatever results? No, they're read-only for a public table. So they can still see everything, and then they could, in theory, like print their screen, but they don't have that option to do that within Jotform there. Okay, if I want to import data from a different source, is there a way to have automated refreshes? So for example, if I have some data on a G sheet, what's the best way to update the data in Jotform tables? So if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying that you want basically the data in your G sheet to go right over, like kind of like pre-fill the tables there. I would reach out to our team on that. I'm going to check to see if that would be possible utilizing API. Especially with Jotform Enterprise, we do have pre-fill API capabilities there. So I'm going to double check on that there. If you can just send your information to us, or just reach out to our team and let us know that you were the one about the import data from G Sheets on our Lunch and Learn. We can get back to you on that, but I want to check with our API expert on that to make sure that we could make that connection between specifically G Sheets and Jotform Tables. Okay, I've also got a couple more here. Are changes recorded in the tables view for tasks being updated, etc.? So yeah, all changes are recorded. They can be viewed within the table's revision history. Again, I will point you to Lauren's awesome presentation from our last series in regards to that revision history. You can also restore this historical view before changes were made if you choose to. But a cautionary tale on that one, don't hit restore too many times because you might lose where you've been before. Can I share reports with someone who doesn't have access to the table? Yep, you can set specific access to view the report when you click publish the report within the table, as we saw earlier. Again, if you haven't had a chance to watch our reporting Lunch and Learn, I highly recommend that. Okay, fabulous. So, I don't see any more questions there. So thanks everybody for being here with me today. We are already hard at work on the content for our next Lunch and Learn series. So please stay tuned to your inboxes and our website for more information on upcoming dates. As we saw with Lauren on our last session, we are going to have some new and exciting faces leading our Lunch and Learns moving forward. So I want to say a quick thank you to everyone for your attendance. I will likely be popping up here and there, but I'm super thrilled for those who tune in to be able to tune into some great content and to get to know our fantastic customer success team as well. If you do have, any questions that we didn't get to today, please reach out to our enterprise sales team or to our awesome customer support team if you're already an enterprise user. And as I said, you can find more Lunch and Learns, webinars, walkthroughs, and a quick video guide also on our YouTube channel and our website. We will have some great Lunch and Learn sessions coming up that will build upon each other as well, just as we've done with this last series. So please ensure that when those are available, you are registering for those sessions at jotform.com /enterprise/lunch and learn sessions that's on the screen now there. This will be recorded and available after this. Thank you all so much again for joining me today, and we look forward to seeing you all again soon.